Hello everybody, and welcome to day 20 of the Daily Deer. Today, we're going to focus on talking a little bit about predator pressure and how that affects your deer herd in your area and areas you might hunt. The quote of the day for day 20, Daily Deer: "The balance of nature is delicate, and as hunters, we are a part of that balance." And that was quoted from our favorite Theodore Roosevelt. And that's kind of the beauty of hunting. The way we see it is you're no longer just an observer of nature and the natural cycle. You become part of it when you enter the woods with the intent of harvesting or killing an animal. You're no longer just kind of observing the natural world and looking out the window and being a external part of it, but you become part of nature as a hunter, and you put yourself into the circle of life. And that's the truth of it. And Theodore Roosevelt said it well, that nature is a balance. And I think that's what we aim to do with our conservation goals. Some states do it differently. Some states do it better in my eyes. But the aim is to balance the human interaction with the natural world. So many groups and anti-hunting groups or, animal activists, which is great. We got to have all of that. But so many of them think that we need to manage our resources as if humans weren't here. Let nature take care of itself. But humans are here. We've been here for a long time. We have taken so much land that we cannot manage the natural resources without including the difference that humans make. And obviously, we are predators to the deer herd. Humans take their own, obvious huge amount of toll on it, especially here in Wisconsin. We have a tremendous amount of hunters. We take a tremendous amount of deer every year, but our deer herd has been healthier than in years past. And the conservation efforts are showing that our deer populations are really, really, really high. Where we see differences in that is where predation takes a toll outside of the human toll. The northern, I'd say, third of Wisconsin has much different predation effects than the southern 2/3 of the state. Wherever you are, you probably have some sort of coyote population, bobcat population, which definitely do take deer. But I feel like that's a fairly consistent and natural ebb and flow. Coyotes are not apex predators. They do take out the sick, the weak, the young, which is kind of how nature designed it. So predators that are taking out sick or weakly animals are, in essence, in theory, strengthening the herd. And that's something that absolutely, no doubt, is going to be there, and whether you coyote hunt or trap or not, which are great things to get into, great things to do. But the coyote population is going to kind of rebound from all of that. It's just going to kind of keep the natural ebb and flow. The northern part of our state and anywhere else in the northern part of the United States has a lot different predation. And what I'm talking about is the presence of wolves and the presence of bears. And when you talk about bears making a dent on deer population, it's not that like full-grown bears are chasing down full-grown deer and massacring them. Many people already know this, but bears do their best work in the spring, right after fawns are dropped. The fawn's natural defense is to lay motionless because they're basically odorless. They don't have a scent buildup to them yet. So their job is just to remain motionless and let predators walk by. Bears, as you know, have an incredible sense of smell, something like 10,000 times better than a human being. And bears will eat a very large number of fawns in the springtime. And that's something that we don't really see or notice the effect because not many people, we have not yet seen those baby fawns. So it's not like we've noticed this population increase and then it's decreasing. That's just their effect kind of goes unnoticed. But bears in the springtime take a large number of fawns, and wolves in the northern part of the state do hunt, obviously, in packs and take down adult deer. Many times, adult bucks, mature bucks, especially if those bucks were rutting, those deer get worn down in the later months, early winter, later fall, and those many times become victim to wolf packs. But no matter what kind of predators you have, it's just kind of, it's a part of the natural world. And I think going through and spreading hate or misinformation on, shoot everything you see or this and that, I think that can be a really slippery slope. They're a part of the natural cycle just like we are, and they need to be managed just like we manage all of our other natural resources. So that's one point of contention in some of the surrounding states where wolves have kind of been reintroduced, and now there's really no season for them. It's like, well, hey, if we're managing every other resource in our state, all the wildlife has some sort of rules, regulations, season, how can we not manage the apex predator? Which I would agree with. I think there is a place for management and a place for conservation efforts to make sure that population is kept under control. As far as that relates to your own hunting, obviously where you hunt and the predators that call that area home are going to make a difference on how those deer act as prey. I can tell you that in northern Wisconsin, the deer are far, far, far more wary and on pins and needles as they travel through their home range than deer in the southern half of the state that only worry about coyotes. Deer that are in the presence of mountain lions, bobcats, bears, and wolves are hunted every single day of their life. So their survival skills and the way they go about moving through their home range is quite different than anything in the southern part of the United States. It just is, because they have to. If they're not as aware or careful or on pins and needles 24/7, they're dead. So the predation effect definitely makes a big, big difference. And that's something you can take into the woods with you. If you know you've got a large coyote population, I've seen a lot of guys use a coyote call or a coyote howl at the end of the day to clear deer out so they can get out of their stand without getting noticed. That seems to work well. I've done it a few times. But yeah, just be aware of your surroundings. It's not necessarily good to hate all predators because they're taking your deer. Just know that they're part of the cycle. They're part of the evolution. And if you want to get into, the conservation side of that, pick up a trapping course. Learn how to do some coyote calling in the winter. It's a great pastime, good thing to do. And it might just help out a deer or two. So thanks for watching The Daily Deer, and have a good one.